Should expectations change if Trey Lance plays this Sunday?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a double talk answer. It's a little bit of yes and a little bit of no. Okay, so from the standpoint that it's no, is I don't know, Grant, if everybody's talking like this team's a lock for the playoffs. It is not a lock for the
No.
playoffs. In fact, the worst scenario has kind of played out in front of our eyes. I made a prediction going into this last week's games after the 49ers lost and said the Saints would lose to the Dolphins. They would win their final 2 weeks. The Eagles will lose to the Cowboys week 18. That would set up a 3-way tie because the 49ers will lose week 18 and they're going to miss the playoffs. That is playing out. Now, obviously, things could change. If the Saints lose again, you're basically in as long as you can win. That's awesome. But there is no guarantee the 49ers make the playoffs. So should your expectations change? Not because of Trey Lance. They should change because I think that all of this, we're going to make the playoffs, is not realistic. There's a big chance this team doesn't make it. So if Trey plays and you don't make the playoffs, don't be upset. Like, if Trey's the reason that this team loses a game, you have to deal with it. This kid is making possibly his second start. If it doesn't look good, he's a rookie. Like, you have to expect these mistakes. And at this point, if Trey plays, you have to be more worried about the production and getting better for him than you do playoffs for this year. Because even if you do make it, the chances that you win a Super Bowl are slim to none anyways. Would it be great for Trey to get into the playoffs and get some experience? Yes, but that's not what it's about right now. It's about him getting better, showing flashes, getting you excited. If he plays, that's what you should be looking for.
But that's not what's going to happen. Half of this fan base is a big
right.
Jimmy Garoppolo loving fan base. And what the way they feel is, hey, man, you guys nitpick Jimmy Garoppolo left and right for 5 years, and now it's Trey's turn. That's what's going to happen. You understand? It's Trey's turn. And a lot of they'll be like, oh, you guys said Trey Lance gave the Niners a better chance to win. Well, he better be better than Jimmy Garoppolo right now.
Yep.
Off 11-week layoff with no meaningful game reps. He better be better. And I don't even really expect that. Like, to me, that's why I kept saying, hey, play Trey. Put Trey in for the fourth quarter of this blowout because you might need him. Jimmy might get hurt. He does get hurt. And the Niners were like, no, we're all in with Jimmy. Hey, he got hurt. So I think the fact that they were so stubborn and didn't play Trey the last 3 months is going to have an effect on this season. And if Trey goes out and looks less than ready, I'm going to put that more on the organization than the team. But Jimmy Garoppolo fans are going to be like, that's not fair and that's not consistent. And you need to keep that same energy with the Trey that you kept with Jimmy. I'm letting it out right now. I don't think it's fair the way the Niners did not prepare him for this moment. And I thought the whole thing was we're keeping Jimmy and a super backup. So just in case Jimmy gets hurt, which he does, we'll be prepared for that moment. Are they prepared? Are they? I don't know.
They haven't played him in garbage time.
We can see.
Yeah. They have not played him in garbage time at all. Like, at all. They've chosen not to. My whole point and trust me, my Twitter timeline is blowing up. You're backpedaling. No, I'm not. I've been very clear from day one. If Trey played day one, they would be better off when they got to this point in the season than they would if Jimmy G had played. And if Trey Lance has to go in after not playing this whole time, I think that point has proven out. The whole reason you could play Trey is because I felt like the schedule was easy enough that you could still make the playoffs, squeak in, you would run the ball, which is what this offense is predicated to do, because Trey Lance helps them do that. And by the time you got to the playoffs, Trey Lance would be in basically year 2, and you could make noise. That was my whole argument the whole time. It has not changed. So now that he's going in week 17, guess what? He's a rookie. And I'm going to tell you the same things I would have told you after week 1, week 2, week 3 when he struggled. This is what I expect from him. He is a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. Deal with it.
Grant, why are you the only savage journalist in that room? Feels like every other journalist, beat writer are under the Niners payroll. We need answers. Look, it's an interesting question. I've thought about it. Like, why am I the only one who's so the way I am? I think it's the fact that the Niners do a really good job of like co-opting the local media organizations. NBC is partners with the Niners. KNBR is partners with the Niners. NBC is the top local sports cable TV station, and KNBR is the top local radio station. I mean, they're partners with them.
Yep.
I work for Sports Illustrated. They're national. I mean, they're not beholden to the 49ers, and I'm essentially my own boss on YouTube and here too. And I'm not in cahoots with the 49ers. And I don't know. I guess, more journalists should probably take it that way, but it's not necessarily their fault. It's the organization they work for. So I consider myself essentially my own boss most of the time, and that's nice because the Niners aren't my boss. That would be my answer to that question.
Yeah, I think it's fair, and I love that that's the case, right? Some people don't like it. Some people think you're a troll or whatever. I appreciate the hell out of it. I love when you get up there and you ask a tough question that nobody else is willing to ask. I think it's fantastic.
A lot of these people, they ask a question that's a little too that the people in the Niners don't like. Their bosses will get called, and they'll have to be like, don't do that anymore. That doesn't happen to me, so I really appreciate that. Shanahan doesn't have the guts to make the tough calls. He prefers to do what he thinks is safe and play veterans. Oh, yeah. Conservative. Like, we're not going to play a rookie this year. We're just going to, it's very conservative and safe. You can't really criticize me, right?
Yep.
What do you think we could get for Jimmy now? Did he improve his stock over the year, or are we getting nothing? AMD 49, bear with us. That's the next topic. We're going to get there in a second. Bear with us. I promise. I'm not putting you off. But Lil Lord Stewie just gave me $100. That was very nice of you, Lil Lord Stewie. Love your shirt, Grant. Thank you. It's Levi's. They need to start Trey. I don't understand. 49ers reporter said Jimmy G is available for the Texans game. I want Jimmy to sit. It's embarrassing that lost the Titans, and and what is the future going to look like next season? They need to sign 25S. Sherman? That was one long sentence. Two long sentences. I don't know. What do you think?
They definitely don't need to sign Sherman. I mean, he's done nothing, unfortunately. So
no.
I think that's a no-go. But yeah, Jimmy has to be off this roster. And we're going to talk about it in a second, but he cannot be on this roster. They've got way too many free agents. They've got big impending contracts coming up. It's time to move on from Jimmy G.
Yeah. I just have a feeling that there's a lot of pressure from ownership to get games out of Jimmy. Let's like last year how they kept Jerick McKinnon and played him all those games. Like, why are you playing him? Like, just so you can say you got an extra 16 games out of that investment. I think
Right.
that's kind of almost what it is. I mean, gave him all this money and you want to get some return out of it. I don't know. It's embarrassing to say you gave Jimmy Garoppolo $100 million for 30 starts. It's embarrassing. So,
yeah, I mean, you obviously want a return on investment, especially as the owner. I understand that. And I think it's fair this year, especially if that's the case, where Lynch and Shanahan truly went to him and said, hey, we want to spend all this capital and draft a rookie, but we also want to keep Jimmy. He's probably like, okay, Jimmy better play, because if I'm paying him that kind of money to sit around, I'm not going to let this guy be a backup. So figure it out.
Lil Stewie, thank you very much. That was very generous of you. San Fran 82 says, San Fran fan 82 says, Trey will have growing pains now and later. Let's enjoy the ride. Go Niners. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo fans are not going to let you enjoy that ride.
No, they're definitely not.
I kind of feel bad for Trey. He has a lot in his shoulders, and it's not even his fault. Kyle hasn't helped out that much either. Yeah, on the one hand, you got the Jimmy Garoppolo fans that are going to be ruthless. I mean, the first errant pass in the first quarter, you're going to hear it. And then that's not even the biggest thing, replacing Jimmy. It's not like he's replacing Joe Montana. It's Jimmy. The problem is the trade. The problem is three first and a third. Like, Jesse, how many NFL players would fetch that? The Niners overpaid. It's not his fault, but they overpaid. 3 firsts and a third for a guy who's never played a down in the NFL.
A lot.
There aren't that many NFL players who are that valuable. So it's not his fault, but that's a huge monkey on his back.
Yeah, I mean, here's the way that I look at it. If they had made that trade for Deshaun Watson, let's say Deshaun Watson didn't have his legal stop, they make it for Deshaun Watson, you understand it. They make it for Russell Wilson before this season, you understand it. Aaron Rodgers, something like that. That tells you that Trey has to live up to that level of expectation in order to make it worth it.
Yeah,
That's
just
going
be
to be
one of the
tough.
greatest quarterbacks of all time,
Yeah,
and
no
then
big
people
deal.
and then Niner fans will be happy.
Yeah.
Again, Niner fans want the best quarterback in the league. They had it for 2 decades, kind of like the Packers. And when they went from Steve Young to Jeff Garcia for 2 years was a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he was better in 2000 and 2001 than Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. It was like him, Favre, and Kurt Warner. And Niner fans were like, they ran him out of town so freaking fast because he wasn't the best. So, Trey,
Welcome.
you could be Justin Herbert. It wouldn't quite be enough.
Gosh, if he's Justin Herbert, I am so happy.
Waruna says many journalists use spreadsheets. Too bad. I'm not smart enough to understand how spreadsheets work. Lil Lars Stewie says Teron Matthew is a free agent next year. Yes, he is. He is.
He definitely is.
He is. So
didn't he just give you $100? Now he's giving you 10 more.
I mean, that's you could have Googled that, but I'm happy to Google that for you. Thank you for the $10. Why waste time with Jimmy? He won't be there next year. Throw in Lance for that game experience. Road to the Super Bowl will be tough regardless of who starts. I feel like this is a comment from like 4 months ago.
Yep. It's funny because what you said week 1, you could just replay right now, and it's all the same. Nothing has changed in 17 weeks.